Please listen carefully.
I'm so excited to be back here, and I'm really excited to talk about a pet project that's been going on. It's actually, I guess, not a pet project because it's my job. I started at the museum 2 years ago, and I was tasked to create a museum school. So for those of you who grew up in larger cities with art museums, you're probably familiar with the model. They can range from anything from, having just some classes at the museum, like what the Taubman had when I started. It was 1 to 3 classes per month for adults, to having a full-scale school with a catalog and the whole 9 yards and faculty. I grew up in Houston. The MFA in Houston has this. It's called the Glassell School, and so that's what I grew up with. So it's kind of been my model. So I started, and I was like, this will be so easy. I'll just hire some teachers, and I'll buy some art supplies, and we'll start a school, and people will come. We'll teach them how to be artists. And, no big deal. So people start coming to these classes, and Roanoke is a mid-sized town. So most of these classes are about 6 to 10 people. So it's a good intimate size to really get to know each other. And we go around, and I love to find out why people signed up for a class, what their expectations are, get a sense of why they want to learn this thing. And I started finding out this trend happens in art classes, even with adults who elect to come and take these classes. They come in and they're like, "Hi, I'm Susan. I am taking this because I thought it looked fun, but I'm not creative." And it was unreal. It happened every time. Someone would come in, they'd ask me the question about why they were there. Like, it seemed cool, right? Like, they wanted me to affirm, yeah, it is cool. But then they also would be physically, actually take a step back and wave their hands at me, but I can't do this. And the minute that one person said that in the classroom, which inevitably happens, all of that nervous energy and excitement that we were feeling when people first walk in instantly dies. And there is this mad rush for the people who've already introduced themselves to be like, "Oh, yeah, me too. Can't do it." And everyone else goes around, and I'm sitting there increasingly having to be like, "Oh, okay. Oh, you too? Okay, got it. Can't do it." And then we have this pause, and we all sit there for a minute, and then we all look down at the art supplies on the table in front of us, and it's this great moment in comedy because everyone's like, "Oh yeah, no, I can't make any of these things. I don't know how, and I'm not going to." And then we have to now start. So I discovered early on that I need to make a different school. I'm not making a school to teach people how to paint. I'm making a school to tell people that they can try. So my background is, if you read my bio, I'm very proud. I went to Beyonce's high school in Houston. I will tell anybody who wants to talk about this. You'll find me later. I'm really, really proud. It's called the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts in Houston, Texas. It's an arts magnet school. Many large cities have a version of this. You spend 4 hours a day in your art area. It's ruthlessly competitive. You have to re-audition for your spot every semester. They did this dramatic thing when you started where they said, look to your left, look to your right. That person may not be here when you graduate. And they were like, "Welcome to your classes." It was really intense. But we spent 4 hours a day in your art area, and it was constant creation. We had a critique at least once a day. So that was my high school experience, and then I taught art for many years, and then I came permanently back to Roanoke for grad school. I went to the MFA program for creative writing at Hollins University, which is a studio program, and it was a similar thing. We had a critique at least once to twice a week. So I learned early on that creative process is about a muscle. It's about exercising that muscle. It's about constant creation. I'm not afraid of failure because I have to do it constantly. The writer George Saunders talks a lot about you're not going to make your masterpiece, you're not going to make the good stuff unless you have a pile of crap on which to stand. You have to start with all of the bad things to make the good things. So with adults, of course, the big fear is failure. So I realized that what I'm really addressing also is not just the ability to start, but that fear about, well, what happens when I finish? So I was looking at all my experiences and trying to figure out what's a good model to try, and I was like, well, kids don't have a problem making art, so I'll just make like an adult version of a kid playroom. So I set everything up, and we advertise it, and nobody came. Because everyone's like, I don't know what to do with that, that's too much. So adults need some structure. So we created an option where I advertise a class really loosely, like painting, calligraphy. 2 hours, no big deal, you can just show up. They come, I do minimal instruction, few people showed up, and I just got bombed. They hated it, they wanted instruction, they were so mad at how loose it was. So I realized that, okay, I do have to have a project-oriented class. So Ariel's one of my teachers, she comes in and teaches weaving. And we realized that the successful kind of middle ground is one where we have a project, but we're going to be spending a lot of time really encouraging all of the ways that they veer off of the project, or they're like, well, what if we try this? What if I do this? And I say, yes, absolutely. And then also, if you finish the project and you hate it, this isn't precious, throw it away. So I'm still learning. And I realized as I was preparing for this talk that I'm actually experiencing my creative process that I do in my art practice to make this school. So I am making every day, I'm trying a new model, it's failing, I'm scrapping it, and then I start again. And I don't know what the masterpiece is gonna look like, but I feel fairly confident that I'm on my way there, that I'm asking the same or the right questions over and over again, and I'm not afraid of critique. I get a lot of criticism. I get a lot of evaluations. Adults are very vocal about what they don't like, and I welcome that. So tonight, you guys will be coming to my house, coming to the Taubman Museum of Art for the party for Street Fest, and we will be having an art class, a drop-in art class that you guys are welcome to attend. And I really hope that you'll come by, you'll try something new with me, and then you'll tell me what your thoughts are on what scares you about creativity and what pumps you up about it. So I hope to see you guys later. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of the day.